it's just G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, B. So see, we're mostly in the key of B here, oriented toward B, and then when Halford throws in that minor third on the top, what that does, it creates sort of a dissonance that is reminiscent of actually a half diminished seventh chord. So if you take G sharp diminished and add an F sharp to the top, G sharp half diminished, that's actually sort of what the riff plus the vocal motif boil down to. Hello and welcome to this video. This is something quite unexpected from my longtime YouTube viewers and subscribers. I thought I would try something different here. This is my reaction to an analysis of Judas Priest. Can you imagine that? A Bach scholar, a classical pianist who's supposed to be all serious all the time. He's doing a video now on Judas Priest. You know, I mentioned this to my wife and she just about had a heart attack. Anyway, Judas Priest happens to be one of my favorite bands. Secret, one of the secrets you didn't know about Bach Scholar. Anyway, if you don't know me, of course I am known as the Bach Scholar on YouTube. And I welcome you to this video. I am a serious classical pianist, but in this video I will be a serious metalhead. So I chose not to wear my leather today because it was sort of hot. I live in the state of Florida and it would make me a little bit sweaty. So I am not donning my leather attire today in honor of the great Judas Priest. So let's get down to business here. Let me give a little introduction on this song. This song is from Judas Priest's British Steel album from 1980, and it is called Rapid Fire. And let me tell you here who is playing in the Judas Priest band here, if you do not know already. Rob Halford leads us with vocals. Glenn Tipton is playing guitar. K.K. Downing also on guitar, Ian Hill on bass, and Scott Travis on drums. Judas Priest, for those of you that do not know, Judas Priest has had several slight member changes through the years. So if you hear them today, they actually have two different guitarists, but the Ian Hill, Rob Halford, and Scott Travis, those three members, they're very long-time members, of course, but Scott Travis joined them he was sort of the new guy, but he's been with them, I think, over 30 years now. Anyway, Judas Priest was known as one of the new wave British new wave heavy metal, I guess, if I'm saying that correctly, and they emerged around in the early 1970s. So Judas Priest has been out a long time now performing, and they still perform. And this particular song here, let me just give you a little bit of history on the song. It's called Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire is, I think it's traditionally, it spawned the whole subgenre of speed metal. So, you know, a heavy metal is divided up into several different subgenres. You know, speed metal, you know, death metal, whatever it may be. So this is a very, I love this song. I love this song because it has energy. And what I love about this song is it's so minimalistic. It just uses this riff and it just repeats this riff over and over, and the chord, you know, it's a pretty simple chord progression. Actually, I have the chords written down here. So I am going to put that up here, and we'll watch a little bit, we'll watch a verse or so, I'll pause it, and then I'll do a little discussion and analysis of what we have heard here. So without any further ado, let's listen to this performance from 2012. Okay, so this is as I'm making this video, this performance is already 15 years old. Okay, so this is not a new performance. This is from Judas Priest's Epitaph tour from 2012. Epitaph. I think they were planning on quitting maybe then, but I guess they quit for a little and they're back now. Anyway, without any further ado, let's listen to Rapid Fire by Judas Priest. I love their intros. Their intros are good. Okay, so actually, you know, if I were a real true scholar, I would have looked up the vocals. I don't ask me what they're singing about. It's just called Rapid Fire. I'm not really listening much to the vocals. I'm not like a vocal guy. I'm listening to the music, to the riffs, to the chord progression. So it's a very simple kind of melody that Rob Halford is singing here. He mostly, we're in pretty much the key of B, if you know your keys. So we establish, Priest establishes B as sort of the home bass key, sort of the tonic. And so Halford is singing. So he's going up a minor third. And this minor third also reappears in the main in the main riff for this song here. The main riff for the song just goes like this. It's just G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, B. So see, we're mostly in the key of B here, oriented toward B. And then when Halford throws in that minor third on the top, what that does, it creates sort of a dissonance that is reminiscent of actually a half diminished seventh chord. So if you take G sharp diminished and add an F sharp to the top, G sharp half diminished, that's actually sort of what the riff plus the vocal motif boil down to, is that it sort of boils down to that chord right there. So in the first verse, I love how the first verse starts in G sharp. So the intro is in G sharp. Then it goes up to B. And it sounds lame when it's on a piano, I know. I wish I could play guitar. It sounds lame on piano, but that's basically how you would do it on the piano. It's basically sort of block chords in B. If you play piano, then G sharp to F sharp, and make sure it's a G sharp minor, And I would go to F sharp major here, although it's the piano, it's going to sound more major than when they play it. So they do that 2 times. Then they go down to F sharp major. To do that again, just go down to F for 2, I think it's like 2 bars. Then the riff. That's the first verse. So the first verse is G sharp for the intro, like for, I think like 4 bars, and then you have B, and then you have your riff, and then you have B, and then you have your riff again, and then you have F sharp major, and then your riff again, F sharp major and your riff. Then they repeat. So now this is the second verse. So see if you can hear that here in the second verse. Okay, this is like the bridge. There's no vocals here, but here in this bridge section. So after F sharp, then after the last one of those on the second verse, then it goes down to D sharp minor, D sharp minor. And this is like the bridge section with no vocals. They take that. You know, I keep wanting to say motif, because motif is what a serious classical musician would call it, but we just call it a riff. So if you call this a riff, though, in classical music circles, they'd look at you funny. So it's a riff when it's rock and roll or heavy metal, and it's a motif when it's in classical music. A motif sounds a little more educated than a riff. So it goes down into D sharp minor. Does that 4 times. 2 bars 4 times. Then the last time. Then it goes to A sharp major. More like major. I would just keep it though, maybe just an open 5th sound if you're playing piano. So it's not really major or minor, but it's more major than minor. So you have your A sharp. That's kind of like sort of the dominant, if you know anything about music theory. Then where I just stopped the video, we come to D sharp minor again. Now listen to when I put it back on D sharp minor. They're going to keep the D sharp minor, and they're going to go down to like a bass with a C sharp. So it's kind of like if you reduced it to piano, that's what it would sound like. So let's see what it sounds like here. Now, after that bridge, then the vocals come back in D sharp minor, D sharp minor. And then it goes down to C sharp major, which will happen in just a second here. Right there, C sharp. After the fourth time, it goes back to the very beginning. I think this is the last time. G sharp, G sharp. G sharp minor. Now it goes back to the intro here. I mean, after that G sharp, that's the intro. Now it's back to the There we go. So the end, it's very interesting. You don't know what key it's going to end in because you're going along in G sharp. You're just pounding in that motif or the riff. Then they go to F sharp major. D sharp minor. Then they just go down to D sharp minor, and then they end in D sharp minor. I think I read somewhere that D sharp minor was a favorite key of the guitarists from Black Sabbath. I think they love that key, that key of D sharp minor. So anyway, that's my little take here on Judas Priest's Rapid Fire. I do really highly enjoy this music. I know I'm a classical pianist, but I do highly enjoy metal music, certain bands more than other bands, but I wanted to pick this because I especially love this song. It is so minimalist, and it just has that sort of driving beat and that motif, or also known as the riff. But one of my favorite riffs. It's such a easy and simple riff, which really just makes the song so much better. So this is one of the great things about Judas Priest, is they really know their riffs. They know how to write great riffs. So stay with me and stay tuned for more videos like this, where I will break down and analyze and react to rock and roll music. So this is my other side. I am a classical pianist, but also my other side. I'm a rock and roll wannabe guitarist. So I guess if I had to pick any other instrument, I'd probably be a guitarist, but I happen to have picked classical piano. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.